Relationships, Part 2. We're teaching on relationships from a biblical basis. We're not just talking about male, female, but between fellow humans, whether it's at work, at church, in the community, but from a biblical basis. So, second key, learn something new about someone you love or people you care about, starting with your spouse or other friends, etc. Learn something new about them. 1 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 12a says, "And the Lord cause you to increase and abound one toward another in love and toward all men." Now we've heard it said, and we know this as a fact, knowledge increases confidence. The more you know about a person, the more capable you become at anticipating and potentially meeting their needs. For example, when you get acquainted with someone, find out what that person likes, whether it's a certain kind of sport or sports, or books, or if they're a foodie, what kind of foods. Find out what they like. Show genuine and sincere interest in the other person if you want to develop healthy relationships. You will then see that relationships become relaxed and life-giving. Be unselfish. Ask them about their life. Don't be full of yourself. Real life illustration. One time we were invited to a barbecue by great friends in Brisbane, Australia, and they said to us, we're inviting another couple who are also in ministry and do some missions work. We said, that's great. We went to their home that evening. They introduced us to this other couple, and the gentleman had just come back from a missions ministry trip from Brisbane, Australia to Indonesia, the country, very populous country north of Australia. And he was obviously really still excited about that trip. It was very vivid and fresh in his memory. And basically from the time we were introduced, this gentleman began sharing about his experiences and his ministry trip to Indonesia. He's an Australian. We listened and listened and listened. We had the barbecue and listened. And then came the dessert and we listened. I thought it's not worth even interrupting him. He's full of his life experience in Indonesia. And then we said goodbye to our friends and to this couple, and we went home. And hear me now. Till today, that gentleman who was in ministry has no idea that I go to Indonesia every year for the last few decades, and that we pioneered a Bible college there in Indonesia. So don't be full of yourself. Learn something new about the other person. Don't be self-centered. Be others-centered if you want to have healthy relationships. Third key, and there's about 14 keys I'm sharing in this teaching on relationships. Third key, communicate clearly and plainly with people. Proverbs 13:17b says, "A faithful ambassador is health." In the Living Bible, we read it this way: reliable communication permits progress. It has been jokingly said that an ambassador, every country has ambassadors to other countries, right? So it's been said that an ambassador is a person who lies abroad for the sake of his country. Basically saying, lives abroad but tells lies to cover for his country. An ambassador is a person who lies abroad for the sake of his country. We are children of the Most High God. Jesus Christ is our commander-in-chief and the captain of our salvation. We are called to imitate Christ. A faithful ambassador is health. Reliable communication permits progress, will build a strong, healthy relationship. Remember that, my friend. Speak the truth. So, speak to and talk with people. Anyone that the Lord brings across your path, he or she could be your divine appointment for the day. You could be the one that God has appointed to speak life into that person. Nothing is quite so cheerful as an initial and introductory word of greeting. Call people by name. Proverbs 10:7 says, "The memory of the just is blessed." Now, I understand that to be the legacy, the memory of someone who is a righteous person. That's blessed. But how about we just look at it literally? God, bless my memory. I've spoken to people say, "Oh, I've got a terrible memory. I've got a terrible head for names. I can never remember names." Why do we go down that alley? God says your memory is a blessed one, dear friend. So you say, how do you remember names? Because nothing is so cheerful to a person as introducing yourself, and then once you ask, give them your name first. And my name's Andrew. What's yours? Invariably, they would respond by sharing their first name with you. So then remember that and use it frequently in the conversation with them, however brief it may be. How to remember this? Think of or focus on or repeat their name in your mind a few times. I use association and wordplay such as AM for Andy and Mary, or DC for Don and Kathy. So there's a couple of tips there. It has been said that the sweetest music to any person's ears is the sound of their own name. Like I said earlier, if you don't know theirs, introduce yourself, give them your name first, be a little vulnerable, open your heart, make sure you're smiling, and most likely they will give you their name. And then speak plainly. Don't get involved in semantics and word games. Listen to the statement from me. The more convoluted a person is, the more twisted their words become. Shall we say that again? The more convoluted a person is, the more twisted their words become. Hear this now. If you keep telling the truth, you won't have to remember what you said. It's only when I tell a lie. Don't talk to me about white lie, black lie, little lie, fib, an exaggeration. A lie is a lie is a lie. It's only when you tell a lie, you got to tell another lie to cover the first lie, and then a bigger lie to cover the first two lies, and so on and so forth in geometric progression. If you keep telling the truth, you don't need to remember what you said. So be genuinely interested in people. Try to like everyone, and likely they will like you in return. But be honest, real, and transparent with people. People can see through a fake, through a hoax, just like that. Even children can read us pretty well. And by the way, I know we could only have a very few close confidants, those kind of friends. But we can broaden our circle of friends, and so I say this, don't limit yourself to a few friends when there are so many likable people around you. So those are keys 2 and 3 in relationships. God bless you.